Mind your business. Mind your business. Mind your business. Mind your business.
For the people who are learning to mind their business.
And action. Welcome to Mind Your Business. It's a podcast that has kind of evolved into a, I don't know if you call it a TV show, but a TV version of a podcast.
A web stream.
A web stream, if you will. And we talk about sports, we talk about music, and we talk about money and how they all work together. It's all presented by SR Homes, a builder focused on you. They have new home communities throughout Metro Atlanta, and you can find them on the web at srhomes.com.
So today we have, it doesn't need much of an introduction, but we have Warrick Dunn, Atlanta legend, national championship at Florida State, three-time All-Pro, Falcons Ring of Honor, Falcons co-owner. You've been insanely humble throughout your entire career, and I think that's something that needs to be celebrated. Right. So you're here today to talk about your charity, which I think is far supersedes your work on the field. And I want to know, so we've heard this story, for those of you who don't know, Warrick's mom, Baton Rouge Police Department.
She was a Baton Rouge City police officer.
And she was killed right before your 18th birthday?
Well, 2 days after my 18th birthday.
And so you raised your brothers and sisters, and I guess from that point you saw how hard it was for a single parent.
I understood my mom's journey, right? And, you know, being the oldest, she taught me a lot about life, you know, just trying to make up grown-up decisions early on. I felt like she was preparing me for that day, that if something ever happened, that I needed to step in and take care of those, look after them. And it's just been a journey all along. And I do know that the charity was born because of her journey, and it's definitely a remembrance of, you know, things that she wanted and the journey that she was on. And that's how Homes for the Holidays was born, because she couldn't afford put money for a down payment, and she couldn't afford to furnish the home. So I just wanted to live out my mom's dream of home ownership through other single parent families. And, you know, being challenged by Coach Dungy over the years, that's really how the motivation to do that came about.
Tell everybody exactly what it does.
Well, Homes for Holidays, what we do is we give $5,000 down payment assistance, and we fully furnish the homes with food, furniture, linens, garden tools, TVs, computers, all the way down to the toothbrush. And now we've been doing it for 21 years with 170 families.
Wow.
And let me just make sure I get all this right. 11 states and 18 markets.
Wow.
I love that. And you're a faithful guy, too.
Yes,
so, and that's something, that's somewhere I think that I connect with you more than anything else. Faith oftentimes is what really is the fabric, right? And I think that God kind of puts you in a position, sometimes a really challenging one, to be able to do whatever his work is, to do good on this earth, because there's plenty of bad.
Right.
I mean, you look and find bad everywhere, but sometimes you have to really look to find the good, and you're putting it on display.
When I first started on the journey, you know, when something tragic like that happens, you're mad with God.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
You're mad.
And rightfully so, right?
Why? You know, you're challenging that, and I just think, you know, the Lord put people in my life in a position that kept me focused on the big picture. I actually got closer to the Lord after that, right? Because we grew up, we believed in God, you know, but my mom was like, well, you don't always have to go to church to worship the Lord, right?
Absolutely.
Because it was hard, right? But
and having lost my dad about a month ago now, I just recently went through everything you just described, the anger, the frustration, but then the drawing near as well, because though my dad isn't with me anymore and your mom's, I don't feel like I'm separated from him.
Right.
I still feel like he's there, and I know he is, right? And I don't mean to take this down a completely religious or faithful path, but I just feel like that when that is so prominent, that it needs to be discussed, it needs to be brought out, and it shows up in your charity.
One thing, so you know, you have an autobiography and you talk a lot about how you got on this journey, how you kind of came out of depression through it. How did you find that? And I know you talk about it in the book, but I want to hear from you. How did you get to that point in your life where you just forgave?
When it first happened, I never cried. I didn't have time to mourn because I had to take care of 5 other individuals and figure out a way to navigate. So I just held everything on the inside, and I was mad. I was mad with the world, and I wanted revenge and everything. And I just think over the course of time, my focus wasn't on, I'm gonna pay back this individual. I gotta take care of these 5 people. And when I had left Tampa and I moved to Atlanta, that's when I started going to counseling. And going to counseling wasn't like, I didn't wake up, it's like, man, I would just want to go and you know, talk to somebody. I actually listened to one of my teammates in the locker room talk about, it's like, man, do you know this guy? You know, he went to counseling just to play the game of football. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah, right. What would we need?
Yeah, I'm just like, man, I could play this game in my sleep. Later that night, I went home and I thought about like, wow, okay. Maybe I need to do that for myself, things I'm going through. Because people was like, he doesn't smile, he's not talkative.
You started seeing a few of those things yourself.
Yeah, so I called a friend and said, can you help me find a counselor? I found one and I started going. And just over the years, I never told my teammates I was going to counseling. But they said they could see a difference of how I was when I was playing a game. Let's just say I was having more fun. And years later, I decided, you know, I'm at a point now that I don't care what people think. If I go to counseling, I didn't care about the stigma because, you know, supposedly as an athlete, you're not supposed to go to counseling. Definitely.
Man of steel.
Yeah, man of steel. Yeah, right. And if you're African American in our environment, you know, you're weak if you go to counseling, if you do those things. And I didn't care about that stigma anymore. I wanted to, you know, potentially help people that needed help because I knew I had a platform where I can go out and share my story. I got to the point where I was searching for peace, and I talked to my counselors like, I think I need to see the guy who shot and killed my mom. So we arranged it to where I went to Angola prison. And I sat down across from the guy in the ward and told me when I got there, it's like when you get there, he's not going to admit that he did it, right? He's going to say he didn't do it. So I was prepared for that, and you know, and he said he didn't do it, right? And I said, you know, I don't care, you know, if you did it or not, right? I just came here to say I forgive you.
Wow.
And I just said, you know, this is what I need to do for myself. And I felt such a relief of like, he doesn't have the control over my life anymore. Yeah. I've taken that control back. And that was the goal, is to, you know, take control of my life so now that I can start living, right? And being much more fruitful and, you know, being able to enjoy life. And, you know, and I still go to counseling today. Right?
But one of the best things I heard that I think it's important for people to know, especially in the sports community, when it comes to mental health, is we work on every other part of our body to perfection. Why do we not take care of our mind? Why is it shameful to take care of your mind and your emotions? Because without those two, everything else is going to fail eventually. Yeah. When someone said that to me, I was like, that's it. That needs to be kind of what we hang our hat on. It's just like anything else in your body, if not more important to take care of.
And you say you come from a hip hip family and you wearing cowboy boots. I just don't understand.
Hip hop background.
It's confusing.
My mom gets down to it. She loves when I'm like, hey, listen to this. She's like, okay, because we always talk about it, dude. Country and hip hop, or I don't care what anyone's saying. We're starting to see it with Lil Nas X. They're super intermingled. They're storytellers. They represent their communities, and their fans get it. It's a lifestyle.
Well, so I grew up.
Don't hate on my boots, dude.
Well, I'm just saying. You called me off guard.
Yeah, right. It didn't. It's like 3 + 3 didn't equal 6 all of a sudden.
Yeah,
pretty fly for a white guy.
I know. Right. Well, it's crazy because when I was in high school, I was listening to Garth Brooks a lot.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was one of our first interviews.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, you know, because I went to a predominantly white school, so all the kids, they were listening to it. So I was just like, man, what y'all listening to? So if I'm riding in the car with it, I'm listening to it. Next thing you know,
it's in your head.
Yeah,
it's like an earworm.
So like, it was pretty cool. And over the years, I've seen country music turn a little bit more pop.
Yeah,
you know, now it's more country hip hop. So it's been a transition over the years. No, I like it, man. It's been exciting though to see the crossover, just, you know, how it actually blends in together and produces great music. And I just think it's better overall too, because now you're expanding people's minds with different genres of music and from different backgrounds and cultures.
What's the last concert you went to?
Man,
it's been a minute, huh?
Probably Drake.
Okay. How would you think?
I'm a Drake fan.
There you go. What do you think about him being on the sidelines all the time?
Don't bother me one bit.
Yeah, Shaq said the same thing. Doesn't bother him. He loves it.
I think it brings more eyes to the game. So if I were the league, I'd be like, I don't care.
No,
we're in the headlines.
The league doesn't care. They and Adam Silver has said as much. We understand Drake's a big fan. We're glad he's there. We understand that his relationship is a little different than maybe everyday fan. I think they've embraced
it's like 2 Chainz here.
Yeah.
When he's down on the court, he's
but as an athlete, right? You go and you talk trash to the opposing team. You're supposed to do that. Right. He's not on the court. Yeah. He's just getting into their mind mentally.
It's like Spike Lee back in the day.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. If you're focused on what's going on off the court as a player, then they're doing their job. That's what the fans are there to do. As long as there's no physical contact, nothing demeaning that's being said, they're just rooting for their team. Yeah. I don't have a problem with
passionate fans, man. That's what you want, and I'm sure you had plenty of passionate fans too when you're playing the game.
So you're a minority owner of the Falcons.
Yes, sir.
What's your relationship with Arthur? Like, do you just call him on the phone every now and then and be like, hey, when are we meeting? And how did that conversation get going?
Well, I don't just call him, whenever I can.
Buddy.
I can call him. I mean, I can,
You got his number on your cell phone?
I mean,
Can you call him?
I can. We're not going to call him. I respect his privacy as well.
Of course.
But I've had a good relationship with him. I know.
He's got a painting of you up in at the Family Foundation's offices.
Really?
Yeah.
I hadn't been there.
So how'd the conversation get going about you coming on as an owner?
Well, I was still playing with the Falcons at that time, and it was the end of my career. So it's like, what are you going to do after football?
Right.
And I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. So do you want to coach? What you want to do? It's like, no, man, I'd rather be up there. And I just pointed, because we was on the practice field.
Sure.
And I just pointed up to his office. I'd rather be up in the upstairs with you. And so when I ended up getting released by the Falcons, and we had a conversation over the phone, and he was like, hey, I mean, you go and finish your career, but whenever you're done playing the game of football, I would love to call you
Come back home.
How cool is that?
Yeah,
that's got to be the most.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
the best way to get released.
You're being invited into an exclusive club.
Yeah, very,
right?
very.
And
because Arthur doesn't need it. He only brings the people he wants to be around.
Yeah, but he's a great individual. He's done a lot for the community.
The West Side.
And we share that passion as well about just people.
Yeah.
Wanting to see people live a better life, but they have to do their part as well. So we haven't given anything away. He hasn't given anything away. He wants individuals to work just like he's worked.
Yeah.
To put himself in a position to be successful.
Record profitability at Home Depot.
But if you think about that, I mean, it's just like the old tale that maybe even from the Bible. It says you give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. You teach him to fish and he'll eat for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the mentality it seems he has.
Does he have the nicest box in all of the NFL? It's the nicest one I've ever seen.
Well, it's big.
It's got a chandelier in it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Mr. Blank.
Yeah. Dude, it's a cool spot.
What is the next step for Warrick Dunn Charities? What is the next initiative? What is the next thing that you want to do?
There's a lot of things I want to do. Sometimes they have to slow me down. Sure. We're working on having more wraparound services for families because we want to truly attack generational poverty. So we're going to move to having 4 pillars: financial literacy, health and wellness, education, attainment, and workforce and entrepreneurship, right?
Love it.
So we want to be able to help families and be with these families for a period of time to where we really want to tackle generational poverty. We want to help people live better lives and put them in environments where they can be successful. So, and we don't want just the parents. We want to also teach the kids early on.
Sure.
So that's what we're gonna moving forward. And I got a lot of other stuff I'm doing to make change, man. No doubt.
Warrick Dunn Charities, and
WDC.org.
There you go. So you get there.
WDC.org.
And we appreciate your time, man. God bless you.
Thank
Continued
you guys.
success,
man.
Absolutely.
Roll Tide.
Stop the violence.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stop the violence.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I don't know why he tried to do that.
I do it at the end because I know.
Yeah, we got to figure out how to
road if I do it early.
Yeah, we gotta. It's no road tide over here, okay?
That's right.
It's go nose all day, every day.
And go to srhomes.com.
Absolutely.
At SR Homes, our end goal is to create a home that's unique to you, one that you and your family will enjoy for years to come. With over 4 decades of home building experience, SR Homes has become a top home builder in Atlanta, offering a variety of communities in the most sought-after locations. Locally owned and operated, SR Homes is a builder focused on you. For more information, visit us at srhomes.com.